Yeah, like I said, JD, I'm just trying to talk to folks, humanize people. A lot of dehumanization
A lot.
going on between the housed and unhoused, and so I'm trying to bridge that gap and humanize people. It's real hard to look in someone's eyes and hear their voice and their story and to dehumanize them. It takes some work. But I just start with people's origin stories. Tell me about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised here in Washington. I've lived here since 2006. At a little house in Linwood with my mom, my dad, and my brother. I went to high school, middle school and high school out in Everett. And after a while, my dad kind of left. I found out that he moved to Arizona when I was in jail for a crime that I committed when I was younger, and I didn't know he moved to Arizona until I called him for the first time in years when I was in jail, asking him what to do. Yeah, that's about as far as that part goes.
So I understand correctly, he didn't move because of a crime you committed. Is that what you said?
He didn't move because of the crime I committed. He just, I thought he still lived in the States, so I gave him a call when I was in there to ask him, just some kind of help, like what I could do in this situation, because he, studied law and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And he told me he didn't live here in the States anymore, and that he moved to Arizona, and that kind of made me sad a little bit, because I was like, damn, like, I didn't know he moved, and our relationship kind of it kind of broke apart at some point, a little point in my life. So I didn't really get to say my proper goodbyes to him or anything,
Yeah, a little bit of that's a shocker. Yeah, I bet that stung.
Yeah, it still does a lot, actually. As far as my mom, I'd say it was about like a month or so ago. I went to Linwood to go to the house that I thought my grandma, my brother still lived in, and I went to go try to make amends with them, and I go knock on the door, and I hear the foot. It sounded like my brother was coming down the stairs, and I was kind of excited to see him. But then when the door opens, it was this Asian-looking male, and I see this little 2-year-old son, what looked like his 2-year-old son, running behind him and grabbed his leg, hugging his leg, and I was like, right then and there, like my heart just sunk, and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm like, they don't live here no more. And I asked him, I said, is there anybody by the names, that live here? And he said, no, I'm sorry, you got the wrong house. And like I just didn't say anything more. I just turned around, went around the corner as furthest as I could away from the house. I just sat on the curb, and I just lost it.
Yeah.
I just bawled my eyes out, because I haven't talked to my mom in years. It's been at least like 7 years since I last talked to her. Same with my brother, same with my grandma. They all kind of X'd me out of their lives for whatever reasons they felt like they had to do it. But so I have no idea where they live now. I don't even know if they live in the States anymore. So that kind of makes me sad a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like you're very alone.
Yeah, I feel very alone. Like, I don't think I've ever felt this alone in years. I don't think I've ever had to feel this. I don't ever think I've had to feel this type of loneliness before. It's definitely new, and it sucks, because I just feel like I'm just in this dark hole of depression that I've never had to deal with before. So it's scary for me sometimes. But I try to make the best of it. I try to stay smiling every day when I can.
Yeah, what comes to mind is you can only kind of fake your way through that for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you got no family support, nothing. Well, tell me about what brought you to the point of like where you thought, I want to make amends. Because that's no small feat. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That you sought them out and initiated, I'm going to go and do this.
It was something that was on my mind for a while, just because like the world's changing. You know, times are definitely ticking, and I just had it in my head that like if it ever came to a point in time where like for some reason like my mom died or if my brother died, like I don't think I'd be. I just told myself, you know, I don't think I'd be satisfied with, you know, our last conversation, and so that's what, you know, that's one thing that made me want to go try to make amends with them and see if they were still there. Just, you know, apologize, you know, for whatever, you know, part I felt like I had to apologize for, and, you know, hope that, you know, it went well from there. But yeah, I was like, you know, because I have no idea, you know, like, you know, where the world's gonna be in, you know, 5, you know, 10 years from now, you know, and I would just hate for something bad to happen to him, and, you know, did this be, you know, or something bad happened to me, and, you know, they not know it, you know, or something like that, and I had to go at least try, and when I found out that they weren't there. It's still to this day. I still think about it.
How long ago was this?
When I went to go try to make amends with them, it was like about a month ago.
Oh, that's recently, very recently.
Yeah.
And so you have no idea where they moved to, man. Well,
Zero clue. I have no idea what their phone numbers are. Because when they first cut me out of their life, they changed their numbers on me like once or twice. And I ended up finding out, you know, I always kept finding out, you know, their numbers through, you know, various sources, and then they changed their number for, you know, one last time. So a total of 3 times they changed it, and I don't even know if they're alive or dead right now. Right. Well, at least my mom, my brother, my grandma, I have no idea.
And you have contacts with your dad? You have his number and stuff?
I have his old one memorized, but I don't know if he got an Arizona number when he moved up there.
Right.
I've thought about calling him. I'm just
because he would know where your brother is if he has a relationship with him, right?
Yeah.
So there's a connection there.
Yeah, I feel like he would know.
Yeah. So there's hopefully some sort of thread, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about. I'm curious. I don't know if are you housed right now or unhoused?
I'm unhoused, unfortunately.
Yeah, and tell me about that.
Well, I did have a girlfriend while I was up here for about. I had a 5-year relationship that I just recently got out of. It wasn't any choice of mine, and we had a tiny home together for a little bit in Georgetown. And we got wrongfully evicted from there because I was being accused of being racist and just a bunch of other just unfair stuff. And before that, you know, it was still just, you know, the same old, you know, just looking to get housed, you know, going through all the sources I can. Right now, I'm still, you know, looking through programs, still, you know, trying to get housed, things like that.
Well, let's back up some. So when was the first time you experienced, I don't have a place?
Shit, like, I was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh, young. I don't know how old you are now, but that's young.
I'm 26 now.
Yeah. And how did that happen? And why did that happen?
Things just weren't going so well at home. I kind of started to get in trouble a little bit. I started getting in trouble a little bit at school. Started getting in trouble a little bit at home. Just little things like that. I feel like stuff wasn't going so well at home, mainly because like for a while, like my dad wasn't there for a pretty good part of my life, and and I kind of like rebelled a lot, you know, because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say about 16, 17 years old was the first time like I experienced like not actually like having like a place of my own.
And when you left, did you like couch surf? Did you just hit the streets? Like,
I couch surfed for a little bit, as much as I could. I was in the Cocoon House program in Everett for a while, but you can only be there for so long, as a minor before they basically say, you got to go. And so once it was, got to go from there, that's when it was like, back on the streets, I guess.
and this is all in Everett.
Yeah, that's
or
what
up north of Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a good 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time that I've
A decade.
been dealing with this crap. Like I've always told myself, like if I could go back in time and like redo, like a one wish type of thing, like go back in time and like redo certain stuff, like I'd go back, I'd redo it all.
Tell me about that. Tell me more about that. You'd redo it all.
Like I don't think I would have made a lot of the choices that I made when I was younger. Like I ended up getting into drugs when I was young, just because I felt like I didn't have that father figure at home, and so I unfortunately one of my older friends, I don't know why I was so stupid at the time. I don't know why I looked up to him. And he did drugs, and that's how I kind of got into that. But I don't think I ever would have looked up to him. I don't think I ever would have screwed around in school and not take school so seriously. I would have taken it more seriously. I don't think I would have had the issues with or at least I would have tried not to have the issues that I had as far as my family goes and stuff. Yeah, I would definitely do those things differently.
Yeah, I hear this. I mean, I don't want to. I guess what I hear is, if my dad was around, it would have been different. That would have had a bigger impact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
You wouldn't have looked up to this other person if you had the stable person, mentor, relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all want that. Like,
yeah, like that was something that like I feel like would have it definitely would have probably had me in a different situation than I am in right now. I feel like it would, maybe not, but
yeah, it's so tricky because it's like, you said earlier the choices I made, and it's just like, when you're that young and doing stuff like, I mean, when I'm 16, am I making good, wise choices? I'm just like going with the flow.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. And if one's family life is a wreck, I mean, it's so complicated.
Yeah, because I felt like my family wasn't like. They kind of like made fun of me for doing drugs, and would make jokes about it and think it was funny, and things like that. So like, I kind of like hung out with like my friends more, and kind of at the time I valued my friend, the friends that I had more than my family. Yeah. Sadly,
right? They became your family.
Yeah, and I look to see like where all those people are now, and it's just like they're just nowhere around, and it's like I feel like if I still like had my family around, like granted, like just the stuff that I did and the stuff that they did, like I feel like we would have gotten through it, and I feel like there'd be a better outcome than this.
Yeah.
This is definitely not what I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, no one when they're young says,
yeah,
when I grow up,
I want to be homeless,
Yeah, and people do drugs, legal and illegal. I mean, we all have our coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
you know, and
It's like, it's being out here, I've developed, severe depression, from being alone, being judged by, normal people of society. So I get anxiety when I go into stores. I get anxiety, I'd be walking down the street and I'll see, a group of, I guess what we call, working class citizens of society, I guess, like walking towards me, and I get nervous, and I'll either cross the street and, try to just, go the opposite way, or I'll, go a longer route just so like I won't have to walk past these people, because like I know like what they're, like I would know like what they're thinking in their heads when they pass by me, or I would know like what they're gonna talk to each other about. If there's a group of them, I know what they're gonna say when they walk by me. I've had people say stuff straight up to me, and it's just like sadly like drugs have like kind of helped with that.
mm-hmm.
And like at night, like like I said, like I just have a lot of alone time, and like when I'm alone, like all I do is think. When I'm alone, and like when I'm alone, like I think about stuff I probably shouldn't really think about, like I think about like the ex I was with for 5 years. Like we were best friends for 2 years, and then we started dating each other, and I always think about that, and then that just tears me up. Because that was like who I was with, like when I was out here. Like I wasn't like we were out here together. Like
that person was in house too.
Yeah.
And you go through this.
So like we were
thing together.
Like we were there for each other. And now that I'm like all by myself, it's just like shit.
Yeah. Then you feel really alone.
Yeah. And it's not like your typical relationship ending story. It's just like I just woke up one day and she just never came back.
Oh, never said anything or anything. Again, similar to this abandonment theme that I hear coming with your dad, your grandma, your mom, your brother, now your girlfriend. So it's just like
it's like I just feel like like after that, like I just feel like anybody that comes into my life now, it's just like I just feel like they're gonna leave at some point,
Right. Yeah, so you protect yourself and push people away, and man, yeah, totally. Like on top of like trying to survive on the streets. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, currently, are you in a tent? Or are you just where are you at?
Right now, I'm thankful enough that one of my buddies has been letting me crash at their tent and stuff, but. I'm that type of person where like after a while like I feel bad for because I feel like a burden so I'll like go away for like a week or two, and that for that week or two I'll just I try to stay up as much as I can, just because I've had a lot of stuff of mine, sentimental stuff, get stolen from me.
Like stay up, like not sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sadly, because when I have gone to sleep, that's how my stuff ends up getting stolen. Like sentimental stuff of mine have gotten stolen. I've had clothes get stolen. I've had expensive things that I've been able to buy get stolen from me. And it's just like I already feel like I have like nobody and nothing. So then when I do get something, like I get really attached to it, and then just to get stolen, and think it's okay. People think it's okay. It just puts a whole nother weight on your shoulder that just it's hard.
Yeah, sounds hard, man. I mean, JD, is there anything that you would want the people of Seattle to know?
I would want them to know that I'm not everybody's stereotype on homelessness. Because I feel like a lot of people, at least in my experience, like I've been told like, you know, you're a dirtbag, you're a piece of shit, you know, you're this, that, and the other, just because I'm not housed. And it's like, you know, it's like I look at those people and I'm just like, you know, if you sat back and like really like, back and I told you like my entire life story, like, I just think I'm like, you'd probably freaking cry, and you'd probably think a little bit differently, because like being stereotyped, like, you know, like how I have it, it's it hurts, and it makes things harder because you've already been, you know, labeled by all these people that, you know, you're a piece of shit, and that's just, you know, what they're gonna think of, and, you know, nothing's gonna make them think differently. But I guess I just would want them to know that, like, I'm not, you know, who they think, you know, who the people in Seattle think that I am. I'm a little bit different. Like I have goals. I you know, I still have goals. I have dreams. I have morals. Kids is one of my biggest ones. Whenever there's like a kid walking, you know, by me, like, and I'm smoking a cigarette or something like that, I always, you know, I either, you know, put it out, or, you know, something like that, you know, because I wouldn't want my kid, you know, being around that kind of stuff. I try to, you know, help when, you know, people when I can, when I could barely even help myself. Yeah, I guess just, you know, you know, I guess I would just want to let them know I'm not, you know, I'm not who they label me as, you know.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Thanks for sharing, JD.
Of course.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Grab that little mic. Yeah, man, that's tough.